Lesson 4. The role of lighting in photography. What does light mean in photography? Does it mean the same as how we use it in everyday life? But when it comes to photography, the type of lighting that one uses is one of the most important elements of any photo. Light in photography refers to how the light source, which can be natural or artificial, is positioned in relation to your subject. The position and quality of light can affect any number of things in your final photo, from clarity to tone to emotion and so much more. There are, of course, different types of lighting. The two main kinds, as mentioned before, are natural and artificial. Natural light is anything that occurs without human intervention, so it can be the direct light of the sun on a bright day, the diffused light created by a cloudy or foggy day, or even the light of the moon at night at full moon or at a space that we don't have so much light pollution. On the other side of things, artificial light can often be moved around and adjusted to fit your situation. Artificial light is easy to position to create the desired effect and shadows you want with your subject than with natural light, where you would have to move the subject and camera according to the lighting technique that you want to use. Natural light. If you want to use natural light in your photography, it's important to understand the angle of the sun and how that will affect your composition. For example, for most of the day, the sun is directly over top, so your subject will be lit from above. A sunny day without clouds will result in more intense shadows, while a sky full of clouds will diffuse the sunlight so that the contrast of light on your subject is less harsh. For natural lighting that is softer, you may want to make use of the hours closest to sunrise and sunset, when the sun will be off to a slight angle as opposed to directly above your subject, and the brightness of the sun may be less extreme. Many times we hear people referring to soft or hard light, even when we buy light bulbs from a shop. So what is soft and hard light? Soft lighting occurs when your light source is diffused, so that the effect is more subtle than it would be with a direct source of light. By using soft light, you will end up with less intense shadows, if any shadows at all, and a lower contrast between the darks and lights in your photo. Of course, on the contrary, we have hard light, which is the opposite of soft or diffused light. Hard lighting is when your light source is pointed directly at your subject. It results in high contrast and intensity, bright whites and dark shadows, and is often created by making use of the midday sun. You can also manufacture this type of light in your studio by using a spotlight or other source of light that is not diffused. How do we compare the way an angle affects the drama, the mood, and the texture of an object? Observe this photo and the angles of light painting. Notice how sharp the angle is. This angle produces a lot of shadow and texture, and it is very, very popular currently with sports portraiture. At an angle of 90 degrees, as per this photo, there is still quite a lot of depth and shadow, but clearly less than before. Many people still consider this to have quite a lot of drama. This angle picks up texture well and can leave interesting shadows. The light at 45 degrees angle is still picking it a decent amount of detail and illuminates the pumpkin quite a bit more, but with less drama and texture than the previous shots. This time, at zero angle, the lighting is straight on. Most photographers consider this light to be harsh and flat. Do notice the lack of depth, shadows or texture. Unfortunately, this is the lighting angle that we often get from our camera phones or pop-up flashes. This is why many portrait photographers either angle their flashes away from the subject, choosing to bounce the light from a wall or the ceiling, use light modifiers, off-camera flash or other lights and reflectors. In the harsh sunlight, this is often why the sun might not be as pleasing as when it is high in the horizon.
Each trainee will have to choose what to photograph and take several shots by changing the lighting. Trainees take pictures either with a cell phone, if they have one, or they take pictures with a camera.